Hello everyone! My name is Hydra. I'm here with my editor Dan, and Dan is going to be showing me another Sseth video, this time about Space Station 13.
Well, listen, I thought you enjoyed your ban on Twitch so much that it only made sense to help you get a community strike on YouTube while I was at it.
Oh my, please don't actually give me a community strike. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I believe I have heard some things about Space Station 13. I think I heard about it on a podcast that I listened to forever ago. It was actually it was Sleepycast. I don't know if you've heard of it.
The dream-themed Hydra VTuber watches a podcast called what again? The Sleepycast?
Sleepycast, yeah.
Perfection. All right, so yeah, we're here with Space Station 13.
Yeah, anyway.
And, this is a video by Ssethtzeentach, who Hydra has seen one whole video of now, and I think, I gotta check, this is, I believe, either his most viewed video or one of them at least. Yeah, I think it's his second most viewed video on his channel.
All right, well, I'm excited for it. All right, here we go. We're just gonna dive right the fuck into it.
Hey people, Sseth here. Today, I'll be covering a very niche, very infamous, and very...
Okay, I know I'm pausing like 3 seconds in. Is there a reason why he uses a, what was that? A Republic of the Congo?
Oh, a warlord from the Congo?
Yeah.
No idea.
He just does that. Okay, all right, good to know.
Today, I'll be covering a very niche, very infamous, and very autistic game that everyone's asked me to cover since day one. A game where you and many other real, living people with questionable social intelligence roleplay together on the worst space station in the universe, where aliens, shapeshifters, and traitors working for rival corporations are the least of your concern, where the greatest threat to your own existence are your own crew members. Hungry? Come to the station canteen, where the food is definitely poisoned. Injured? Head on down to medical, where half a medication has been relabeled as happy pills. Discouraged? You can try taking a painkiller instead, but it wasn't a painkiller, it was LSD. Having a bad trip? Don't worry, there's a security officer nearby to help, but he can't respond because he was murdered and replaced by a genetically modified monkey wearing his uniform.
All right, so how long do you think this space station would stay up and running if it was being crewed by fried rice and friends?
That's a good question. Okay, all right. Follow-up question. Is it just fried rice and friends? Or
fried rice and friends and our extended circle.
Good information to know. All right, so that would definitely extend the lifetime, I think.
I don't know about that one, Chief. We have Kiwi on there.
No, well, extending the lifetime because we're not in a public lobby.
I don't know. Not being a public lobby means no one can hear our cries for help.
I think we got a solid hour, 20 minutes, 13 seconds.
Like, you guys could probably keep everything. You could keep the lights on for 80 minutes.
Yeah, and 13 seconds.
And 13 seconds, my bad. And
hallucinating? Keep calm and focus on what's real. Unfortunately for you, the supermassive black hole expanding towards you is not a hallucination. It is, in fact, very real.
The emergency shuttle has been called.
Welcome to Space Station 13. Your objective? Do your best to delay the station's inevitable destruction, either at the hands of antagonists or at the hands of your own incompetent crew. Normally, I give a final score for a game at the end of a video. Not this time. Space Station 13, 10 out of 10, amazing, spectacular. Don't play it. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, Space Station 13 is a fantastic game, but I genuinely don't recommend you play it. Why? Because the engine it's running on is probably older than you, because the interface is a convoluted mess, and only usable because me and every other autistic chimpanzee who plays this game has committed the hotkeys to muscle memory because of the...
Okay, so I'm gonna back it up a little bit after I unpause. But I need you to understand something or notice something that escaped me the first few times I watched this. Yeah, I need to point something out. This game's engine is so old, and I missed this the first few dozen times I've watched this video. Do you notice anything odd about this screen? Not the gameplay that you're seeing and not the sprites.
Is it the window that says say text?
Yes, that is part of the game engine. This game's engine is so old that it opens a Windows Discover little search thing or like box to run programs and code in the game when you try to do certain functions.
Oh wow. So its interface is not integrated.
It's from 2003.
It's an outer face.
Yes, their engine is an Audi.
Oh my goodness.
Oh god.
Yeah,
I don't know how I missed it, but the first time I noticed that, I was like, oh my god. I wonder how much this game costs.
I don't know. I would hope not much.
I think it costs the low easy price of $0.
Because, to be perfectly honest, the servers can't handle all of you. For all these reasons, Space Station 13 always was and always will be a niche title. And maybe that's for the best. But I can offer you something else. I've already killed your hopes and dreams of playing the game, so instead, let me share some stories of my wonderful experience with Space Station 13.
That's horrifying,
These stories
by the way.
span several years and several different servers, the names of which will forever stay anonymous because I respect their privacy, and because I've received threats from some of the more colorful servers to not mention them by name, or else. What's gonna happen if I don't comply? Are they gonna hire a Bitcoin assassin to run me over with his mobility scooter? Is he gonna stab me with his insulin pen? I don't know, but between you and me, I hate having cum delivered to my mailbox and would prefer to keep it that way. My friends told me to download it and hop on some shitty server. It had furries and erotic roleplay. More on that later.
Yeah,
I
as
entered
one
around
does.
as an assistant, my job to give assistance and to get my hands burnt off trying to hack into places I don't have access to. My friend comes running down the hallway, dragging someone's unconscious body. Frantically, he tells me, "Seth, quick, can you open this door?" Sensing the urgency in his voice, I do. He throws the body inside and sprints away. The airlock closes. 3 seconds later, something explodes. What the fuck was that? I ask. Oh yeah, I fed him potassium and water pills. It takes a while to metabolize. My friend had just murdered a man in cold blood by turning his body into a living, ticking potassium bomb. As soon as the
What
man's
the fuck?
digestive juices cracked through the potassium tablet, it reacted violently with the water in his stomach and exploded, killing him from inside out. After such a horrific display of homicide, I realized, hey, this game's pretty good.
Okay, so wow.
Are you familiar with how potassium reacts to water?
Yes, I like to watch the videos where people like throw a big chunk of potassium into a lake or something. And the fact that they have that sort of depth in this game, like somebody thought to code that. They thought okay, the human body has water. If somebody, for some reason, feeds potassium whatever, it will create a bomb.
If potassium in body, else.
I would expect that to be the actual code.
Explosion? I don't know how coding works. Oh, God.
I mean, that's sort of close, I think. I know very little about coding.
Fast forward a few weeks and I'm learning roles, calling shots, and ignoring every single rule of a server. I also ignored every single rule of medicine. I was a surgeon, top of my class. My friend's girlfriend started playing with us. To put it bluntly, she wasn't very good, but she was very interested in progressing the medical field in any way possible. Brilliance flashed before my eyes. My pupils widened. I started physically sweating because she said the words I've always dreamt of hearing. Please, turn me into a pizza. And so, I got to work. One horrified clown watched in the operating theater as I cleanly hacked off and cauterized her hands and feet. I opened the pizza box and began attaching her new cheesy limbs. "Help! Sec to surgery," the clown blurted out. "He's turning her into a Papa John's." The head of medical stormed in with a host of security officers to detain me, but they were too late. Her hands and feet had already been replaced. Surprisingly, she could walk just fine on a pair of pizza feet, but her lack of opposable pizza thumbs meant that she couldn't really hold anything. However, her pizza hands did make for a convenient and portable source of nutrition.
So, which one of our friends is the surgeon?
Let's see.
Sorry, let me rephrase that. Which one of us isn't the surgeon?
Okay, I think that my initial gut reaction was to say Dev, but I think he would do worse.
Yeah, I do have urges to eat dick pills, okay? It's nothing wrong with that. Every guy has them. You see them in the bathroom, you want to eat the dick pills, okay?
That is fair. By the way, the clown's name was like Giggles the Anal Clown, by the way. Don't know if you caught that.
I thought it said Gigliacci.
I think it was something like that.
Oh my goodness. But yes, I do think that it would definitely be Kiwi to be the one to be like, give me pizza hands.
Oh, she wouldn't be the surgeon. She'd be the patient.
She would be the patient. Yeah, absolutely.
They're delicious, cheesy, stuffed crust hands.
Yeah. You know what? I think Cozy would not be the surgeon.
Fair. Don't worry. There's a role for Cozy in here too.
Cozy would be the clown, I think, that calls for help.
God. So that wasn't the one I was thinking. There's a role in this game, and I think it's reserved for Cozy.
Okay, well, we'll come across it later. But of the three,
you'll know it when you see it.
Okay, I'm sure. I'll call it out.
Despite her numerous protests that she consented to the surgery, the head of medical demoted me on the spot and banned me from ever practicing medicine, claiming that you can't consent to being a pizza. I was thrown in jail for the rest of the round. Clearly, there was no appreciation for the arts on this station. So, many rounds later, me and my friends found a new purpose, cleaning up the server, one erotic, furry roleplay at a time. Using telecommunications and meta-communications, I expertly pinpointed areas of high homosexual intent, namely the dorm rooms and the showers. As two Khajiit-looking catmen meet privately with one another, they will, inevitably, start writing words such as, "Ooh, Mayak has a barbed prickly surprise for you, my friend," and, yes, not me with your thick Tajavan trunk. This is completely unacceptable. Once an act of high homosexual intent is in motion, several of our men would mobilize. As they groan, moan, and spit out hairballs on each other, a security officer would barge in, flashbang the feline fornicators, and tag team baton them into submission before another officer handcuffs them to the bed. On the other side of a contaminated dorm room, our team's atmospheric technician sets explosive C4 charges against the station glass. Quickly, we evacuate the biohazard exclusion zone and seal the airlocks. Romeo and Juliet barely have enough time to recover from the flashbang before the charges detonate, depressurizing the room and sucking their bodies out into the black vacuum of space. Another job well done.
So you were on a boat for like 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Is this how you decontam parts of the ship?
Yes. You know, with the gay furry sex and everything. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, it's a big boat, and you got to make sure that all the seamen are well taken care of, and that there's not any erotic roleplay happening with them.
Every single seaman needs to be taken care of.
Many explosive decompressions later, erotic roleplay was considered a real occupational hazard. The Tajaran Catboys got creative, started doing group sessions instead. The airlock doors to their sodomy chamber were welded shut to prevent interruptions, so he drilled right through them with a gigantic combat mech. The air inside was heavy with a sickly sweet smell of wet fur balls and toxoplasmosis. The furries didn't even have time to react before he started unloading shell after shell of flashbang grenades, and thus we all got banned. We paid the price. But to see half a server get flashbanged unconscious for 10 minutes straight, priceless. The server didn't last long anyway. The admin's mom shut it down as soon as she saw the electricity bill, so me and my friends went on to enrich other servers. I even got good at being a chemist. I also gave whatever chemical anyone requested, which gives me some moral ambiguity and 2 degrees of separation from any pranks or murders that took place as a result of said chemicals. If a clown asks for space lube, he's gonna get space lube. One time, a clown managed to lube the entire hallway outside of medical, all the way to departures. Now, departures is usually the place where the escape shuttle docks to get us out of our quickly burning heap of a station. However, if there's no call for a shuttle, departures is completely empty.
So, can you predict what is about to happen?
I'm gonna guess that whoever walks on the lube to departures is...
That's a unique sentence right there.
Yep. just slides all the way to departures. I'm gonna assume they go past the airlock, and said clown is going to basically release whoever gets piled up.
So you're very close. That would involve the clown having to be an active participant at the end process. And we don't got that kind of time.
Oh.
Empty, beside the lock, which the clown had hacked open. Several people came running through medical, slipped on the space loop, and accelerated themselves face first into the infinite vacuum of space. Security figured out it was the clown, and in true security fashion, also slipped on the space loop. With most of the crew floating around dead in space, the station had to be evacuated. He was later banned from playing clown ever again. Several rounds later, I finally spawned as a traitor.
Mission specifications decrypted. Welcome to the Syndicate.
Alright, so I hate to pause it again so quickly.
No, you're okay.
This is for your audience. If you guys are sensitive, easily upset by things, or have what some might consider to be normal sensibilities, cover your ears, children.
Oh, no.
And I had no idea what I was doing. But I wanted my first time to be special. Conveniently, an assistant comes in, bleeding all over, because he was probably trying to break into the armory without insulated gloves. His character sprite had maximum melanin and an afro. His roleplay friendly name was Madick. An idiot, but a useful idiot. There were no medical staff on hand except me, so I said, "Hey, I know a little bit of surgery. Let me fix you up." I put him under general anesthetic and took out my Syndicate PDA. With this, I can discreetly teleport a few traitor items into my inventory to help me achieve my objective, which in this case was murdering the head of security. I ordered 2 sets of voice-activated explosives, which trigger upon hearing the recorded code phrase. I set this to the word most likely to be spoken by this mentally retarded human being. Can you guess what that is? I surgically opened his ass and inserted the first of the explosives. Then I lodged the second one neatly inside his chest cavity. Closing them up, I took off the anesthetic and began to put my plan in action. I would arm this simple-minded moron with illegal weaponry, with the hopes that security would detain him on possession charges. I gave him all the LSD, all the chloral hydrate syringes, and an entire spray bottle of space lube. I had expertly equipped him to be the ultimate griefing machine. Proud of my work, I gave him a hug and set him loose on the world. But just before he left medical, he turned around and said, "Thanks, Nick."
Oh my goodness.
And we both exploded. My other times playing antagonist went about just as well. Once I started as the leader of a cult. Our objective was to seize control of the station and sacrifice our mortal bodies to summon a physical manifestation of our dark god. However, I wasn't very good at it, and neither were my servants. We found a nice, quiet, and most importantly, abandoned bar near the north end of the station, which we began redecorating with our own blood.
We found your role, Hydra.
Cultists need to learn a set of ancient words that's randomly generated every round. If you arrange them in the right order, you can perform different spells and rituals to advance your goals. We didn't get far, because the most dangerous thing to an incompetent cult is a single crew member doing their job. The fucking janitor found us. We tried to negotiate, convince him that it's actually crayon and not blood all over the floor, but that didn't work, so we tried to murder him instead. That didn't work either. He used his mop to slip us with soapy water and ran off to call security. As you can see, I'm not very proficient at being a traitor. More often, I find myself being abused by traitors. Some of the worst offenders in this regard are definitely wizards, since wizards have a bad tendency to sexually abuse me as well. Not too long ago, me and my friends played a round that was already in progress. As soon as we entered, we realized something was very wrong. An announcement played on the radio. Penis Inspection Day is in effect. All crew members must report to Doc Johnson for their mandatory penis inspection. Doc Johnson was, very clearly, a wizard. I knew what was coming, and yet I resigned myself to fate and went to medical reception. Doc Johnson was overjoyed to have new patients. He led me to a private room, asked me if I'm circumcised, and told me that I passed the inspection with flying colors. What a surprise, I thought. He's not actually gonna grief me. But I was wrong. As I turned away to leave, he blew off my ass magically. Hey, It's wizardry. I ain't gotta explain shit. Anyway, Doc Johnson is a terrible doctor. He left me bleeding on the floor as he took my ass cheeks and used them as a hat. Highly unprofessional. Would not recommend. A round of Space Station 13 can be very intense. At other times, it can be very slow-paced and almost relaxing.
I love the idea
if you're
of this
not
game.
a traitor and you don't have anything urgent to handle, you can always just roleplay and get comfy in a bar, while the piano plays anime songs and the jukebox plays whatever deep-fried ASMR bullshit people keep putting on. It's a very wholesome experience, and it helps you get emotionally invested with the other members of your crew.
Succeeded at this game.
I think you have to lose eventually. Like, I think the game, if I had to guess, it probably doesn't end until the ship just explodes. I don't know for sure.
So you're saying it's a roguelike?
Maybe. Let me check how to... Oh.
It's a multiplayer roguelike.
I went to their how to play section on the website. There's not a guide on how to actually play.
Oh.
Just a picture of a man staring at the red giant that their station is slowly drifting towards.
Oh man, I gotta look up how to play this game. I don't know how. Oh.
You don't.
You don't. Oh my goodness, that's great. Okay,
which are often nice people. However, security is often staffed by egotistical megalomaniacs acting out their most depraved power fantasies. They are often not nice people. As a result of their inherent propensity to be insane sociopaths, the rest of a crew will often rebel against their tyranny. In one such case, Cargo had declared independence. Security refused to recognize the independent station state of Cargonia, so they tried to barge their way in and arrest everyone involved, including me, but security was unprepared for the trap we had in store. One officer rushed into cargo bay and slipped on a banana peel straight into the conveyor belt waiting for him. He tried repeatedly to get back up, only to be tripped again by an ocean of banana peels on the conveyor belt, which looped around in a circle. Surrounding that circle was another circle, composed entirely of vending machines. The officer was also being brutally assaulted by several hundred cans of soda. The vending machines were hacked, and as a result, they would continuously fire drinks at whoever is in the area. Each officer that slipped into the banana belt got smashed unconscious by a relentless stream of Discount Dan soda. Trademark, all rights reserved. After extensive head trauma by our soda turrets, security reluctantly accepted Cargonia's independence and their right to bear arms. If there's one department that has more revolutions than Cargo, it would have to be science, and it's easy to understand why. We spend our lives researching away for the good of a station, which does of course carry its own share of risks and hazards. Sometimes accidents happen. Sooner or later, some bored and mentally challenged assistant will try and put a bag of holding into another bag of holding, and security can't always comprehend that we're not directly responsible for the resulting black hole eating through the kitchen.
The classic.
What role are you playing, Hydra?
What role am I playing?
Yeah, so you get chosen at random where you end up, but like, let's say you get to pick. Where you going, buddy?
It's a good question. I mean, I would have to go with traitor or imposter or whatever it's called. It just seems so fun to try to just fuck with everyone.
It's just beautiful. I think I don't think I'd want to go security. I think I'd want to end up in the science or the roboticist department, or I think I'd rather be a janitor.
I was gonna say janitor would probably be like my second choice.
Just, hey, how bad can I mess up that the ship dies? I just mop. It's fine. Look, all I did was accidentally throw away all that trash you had lying around. And by trash, I mean the entire station supply of penicillin. What's the issue?
all the penicillin that was renamed Happy Meds.
That's right. Listen, if you didn't want it thrown away, you shouldn't have left it in the company fridge. Also, why did you have that big, heavy lock on the company fridge in the pharmacy? It's very annoying to get through. There's this box in there. It said heart on it. I don't know what that was about, but, I couldn't really... Whatever was in there looked gross, so I threw it away.
I was trying to think of something. I couldn't think of anything.
kitchen. This appreciation for the scientific profession usually ends with arrest warrants for the whole department, which is usually answered back with the words, "I'd like to see you try." But when we're not having a nuclear arms race with security, R&D is actually quite a chill department. I also made a great discovery last time I played there. Me and another scientist were messing around with blueprints and eventually made ourselves a pneumatic cannon. Normally, these are used to launch whatever items you have inside. What we didn't know was that it could launch food as well. I loaded a lasagna, aimed for the mouth, and fired it at my fellow researcher. The lasagna disappeared. What the hell? That's amazing, he said. We just realized what happened. I had just managed to remotely force feed my fellow man. But what do we do with this forbidden knowledge? Nothing good, that's for sure. My comrade got to work asking chemistry for hallucinogenic drugs. They said no. So we built our own chemistry dispensers, filled up the beakers with happy juice, and ran straight to the kitchen. We injected all the donuts and hot pockets we could find with as much LSD and mind-breaker toxin as they could hold. Then we loaded them into our food delivery system and started firing off at everyone in the hallways. The food was instantly delivered. The crew was instantly satisfied. Several people, including security officers, managed to see the two small lines of text indicating that they've just been fed something. They thought it was extremely clever and said they didn't know the pneumatic cannon could do that. Since it was just a bit of harmless fun, we got off scot-free. Minutes later, the hallucination started. Crew members started screaming on the radio. Some were puking, shaking, or convulsing on the ground. Medical couldn't keep up with the bodies. They piled on too quick, and most of the doctors were too busy fighting off non-existent entities to do anything about it. The chemist, who originally refused to give us LSD, was arrested by security on suspicion of intentional food poisoning. It was complete pandemonium, and I think it illustrates perfectly the chaos that is Space Station 13.
My goodness.
That's all I have for you today, folks. There is, of course, more stories to tell, but we'd literally be here for hours. Space Station 13, a marvelous, unique, and incredibly shitty game. 10 out of 10, don't play it, because if you do, they're gonna blame it on me, and I hate having cum in my mailbox. As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. On other news, I started a Subscribestar account, so if you'd like to invest and don't want to give your money to Patreon, now you can. A warm thanks to the many members of Emergent Guild, generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful. Have a good one.
So,
God.
I know we probably won't be able to, but I would actually love if we could get like a massive collab where all of our friends play this.
God, I don't think I have the ability to learn this game.
I mean, we don't need to. We just need to play a couple times and everybody will figure it out, right?
Oh yeah, that'd be great. I'm gonna be the head of security. I'm gonna walk into a room. I'm gonna witness Kiwi murder somebody. She's gonna tell me I did it, and I don't mean she's gonna say that she did it. She's gonna blame me, and I'm gonna arrest myself because I'm gonna believe her.
Yeah, either that or she's gonna be like, we were just playing together.
We were just playing hot potato with the loaded handgun. I don't know what went wrong.
Yeah, he's just pretending. It's fine.
He's a method actor. He's really committed to the bit.
And it's
Did you know he's a big fan of movie history and writing?
It's me that she killed.
That's right. Here's the evidence. Look at him. The blood coming out of his head is a reference to the bullet that entered his cranium.
And what will be even funnier is that she will be a just legit doctor role or something like that.
Oh yeah, she's just not even a criminal. She is just a surgeon.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seemed faster than making an incision. I don't see the problem.
Oh my goodness. Well, I need to go get food in my face, preferably not laced with hallucinogenics.
Only preferably though, right?
Preferably, yeah.
That means there's some wiggle room.
You know what I don't know doesn't hurt me, right?
You'll know when the spiders start coming out of all the outlets and crawling on you. you'll know. Especially when they start whispering to you that they're disappointed in you in your dad's voice.
Oh, that was the worst part of all that. Damn.